with that in mind, we all know about like your spiritual aspect of your life. Now tell us about like one of your other great passions, mus the musical aspect of your life. How did you
Sure.
like? Yeah.
Well, I just start to play music because I think I also get that from my mother before she passed away. We always having like we call air guitar battle, you know, where we like pretend we're playing the guitar and dancing battles and stuff. So as I'm a child, I really get that love of music from her, and my father always playing classical music and jazz music on the radio while we were working. And from that time, I just loved music so much. And my high school had a radio station, so when I was 13, I got my first radio show, and I was on air, and I was doing public service announcements, which are like commercials. I was learning how to do commercials, voiceovers, and I had a radio show at 9 o'clock at night. And I was new into high school, and I found that having a radio show really bring me a lot of friends. You know, I meet a lot of great people. And so from that time, I just start to play records at parties for all of my friends. And pretty soon, people want to start to pay me money to do that. And I continued with DJing and played in Asia and Jamaica and all across the US. And I've played with many famous acts in my time, you know. And it's something that I love. I love teaching yoga, but I also love to DJ just as much.
Yes. Well, that is really interesting. Uh, what is Gong therapy? So I heard that you mixed your passion of music with spirituality, and there you get Gong yoga. What is Gong yoga therapy, and what is the science behind it?
Well, the science behind Gong yoga is that the gong is a very unique instrument in that it produces all of the frequencies audible to the human ear. Normally, when we listen to a three-piece or five-piece band play, you know, each instrument is playing in a particular frequency range. The guitar is playing tuck, 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 and the bass is playing doo, 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 you know, and the singer is playing the top lines on top of that. Well, when we play the gong, it's like a giant ocean of all of those frequencies blended together, like a wave, you know, like an ocean wave, like that wave behind you, just covering those frequencies, covering all the spectrums. And when the body is close to that vibration, there's a thing that happens called entrainment. And what it is the body starts to make good for us, because when our body starts to vibrate like the gong, it stimulates what is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, the body has two main nervous systems, and this one called the parasympathetic nervous system, and you can remember that like a paramedic. It's the nervous system that comes to save you and heal you and restore you and help you rest and give you energy again. So when this gong plays, it turns that nervous system on, and it allows the person to deeply, deeply relax, and it will put the body in a healing state where there's not much thinking going on, no analyzing, just feeling the sensation of the gong. And when the body is there sitting in that vibration, then the youth or the energy, the healing comes back, you know? So it works like that. Does that make sense?
Yes. That is very interesting. Um, uh, who is your role model in the spiritual world and in the music industry?
Both, the same. In the spiritual world, my role model was Bob Marley. And in the musical world, my role model was Bob Marley. Because in the spiritual world, Bob Marley performed Bhakti yoga because he's so devoted to his people, the people around him that he grew up and he learned from and he lived with. You know, he was so devoted to the people of the ghetto and the less fortunate people, the people that were being oppressed by the oppressors at that time. And he devoted his whole life to that. So that was his bhakti. And then his shakti was his music, which you're very young, you may not know Bob Marley, but he's a very famous reggae musician, and his music has reached all over the globe and has brought such a positive message and a message of unification and of love and acceptance for all humanity. So I would have to say that, yes, my spiritual role model and my musical role model are one and the same. Bob Marley, the author of the song One Love.
Okay, that is really interesting. So, you told us about your endeavor in Chicago on like spreading yoga there. How's it going, and what is your future plan?
It's going very well, you know, as we've all had a challenging time with COVID. We had to retool the yoga a little bit by coming online. Um, but as you were saying earlier in our interview, these challenges, you know, they're also blessings for us because they give us the experience. The same has happened with changing the studio due to COVID. So now we're teaching online and we're teaching more across the world. And that is the future, is to teach more people, to spread more love, to show more people the ancient sciences of India and in other countries that help us heal ourselves and connect ourselves to the human family. So that's the mission, to bring that wisdom to the world.
Okay, and what are your future plans? Do you like plan to expand to other cities in America?
Well, future plans right now for me are a lot on the music end. I'm building a nice recording studio across the street from the yoga studio, and I'm planning on doing some film scores for film and television there, and also planning on doing some tours in a year or two when COVID lifts. So, working on those acts, one of which is my daughter, and as far as the yoga, the future of the yoga is already in place with the online classes that we're doing and sharing the yoga studio with the world. Yeah.
Okay, that is great. So, on both ends, you're growing at a rapid rate, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
yes. So, sir, give five books which you recommend to youth, like to start on spirituality, or five books which you think children of my age
Okay.
should read.
This is where I should have read your questions beforehand. Okay. I don't read much anymore because I am doing the yoga so much I love more than reading. I'm reading my own body and mind, you know, reading the spirit, you know. But when I was a young man, some books that really changed my life was the autobiography of Malcolm X. And I don't know, you probably don't know who Malcolm X is, but here in America, he is a very popular figure in the civil rights movement. And his personal story is one of great challenge and sacrifice and realization of the oneness of God. And that book changed my life. And also, there's another book called Jonathan Livingston, Seagull. And I cannot recall the author. I apologize to you and your fans, but the book's name is Jonathan Livingston, Seagull. And it's a wonderful book about a seagull who doesn't believe that he can fly very high because he thinks he's just a seagull. And one day he flies straight up to the heavens and he cannot believe it, you know, and he realizes he has more power than he ever knew as a seagull. And another book I can recommend is The Alchemist, which is a great book about changing, you know, in your life, turning bad things into blessings. And another book written by the same author, although I can't remember his name right now, is Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And this book is about a young man that meets a mechanic who works on cars. And the mechanic becomes his spiritual teacher and leads him through his challenges in college. He's in college, he's a very popular gymnast, and he has a lot of things go wrong with that. And this mechanic really teaches him about the oneness of the universe and how to live in the flow of the universe and to drop your expectations in life and things like this. And let's see, that's 3 books. Jonathan Livingston Seagull, The Alchemist, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, The Autobiography of Malcolm X. Oh, that's actually 4 books. And the 5th book, I could not recommend to you. I don't know 5 books, but I do know those 4.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing those. Um,
yeah,
People, if you want to read them, check out the description. I've mentioned it there. Sir,
great, thank you.
sir,
Yes, yeah,
what, like, you have so much experience in your life. People watching you already know that, since we have heard so many stories from him. Sir, can you tell us about, can you give some advice to youth on how they should start spirituality and how can they become successful in life? What would be your advice from your side?
yeah. Well, I think if you are interested in spirituality, we have to define really what is spirituality. And spirituality is when we're referring to this spirit within in us, which is actually just energy or kundalini or chi. And I would suggest reading books about spiritual lessons from all walks of life. Reading about the Tao or Zen, reading about Allah, reading Bhagavad Gita, reading the Bible. If you do like I did and you read all of these things, you will see that they are all talking about the same thing. And then once you realize that it's all the same thing, you can really get out of the duality and understand that we're one human family. And once you move far enough along the path that you see the oneness in life, then you're well on the way, and then you can pick up some kind of practice, whatever it is, if it's devotional or if you're practicing the other traditions, but mostly I would say, little boss, is you have to have the strength and the courage to follow your heart. And if you want to be a spiritual person, you want to seek and find God, your heart will lead you there if you have the courage to follow it. And to be successful in life, you do have to be devoted to something higher than yourself, because when you're young, life is a bit easier. You still have your innocence, and when you're innocent and when you're young, the world really will cater to you. It'll give you everything you want because you're young, you smile, you're innocent, you're beautiful, full of joy. The world wants to help you. But as you get older, little bro, things happen and you're not innocent anymore. You upset people, even when you mean to do the right thing. People get angry with you. Sometimes you do things that you didn't want to do just to survive, and you lose your innocence. And when you lose your innocence, life can become very difficult if you don't replace it with devotion. When you have devotion towards something high in your life, towards your family or your country or your God or something like that, then all of that kind of just goes away because you're not concerned about your own little small desires. You're working for the greater good of your family or the greater good of the country, or you're working for your God. And this will really give you happiness, which is what you need to be successful. Because if you cannot find peace and you cannot find happiness, it's very hard to make money and to be successful in life. So
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
with all the hardships and challenges in your life you have faced, by the way, thank you for the advice. Sir, tell us, do you think you're successful now in your life? And uh, what are
Yes,
your
I
thoughts on
know.
that?
Yes, yes. My thoughts on that? Well,
Sorry.
success has nothing to do with um, very much, except much are you enjoying your life? How close do you feel to God? The one day we're all going to have to face the universe. When this life is over. And I would measure success about how will you feel when that day comes? Will you feel happy about the life? Will you feel fulfilled? Will you feel that you did all that you wanted to do? Or will you have regrets and feel like you lost chances and you missed something? So to me, the way I define success in my life is to live a fulfilled and happy life.
Yes. That
Yeah.
is so true, sir. Um,
Yes.
so thank you. I enjoyed this interview very much. I learned a lot from you, and I hope I will get another chance to interview in the near future. But with that in mind, sir, please advise two people whom you would like to see and learn from on the show.
Oh my goodness, who would I like to see on the show? Well, I'm really these days lately. I've really gotten a big interest in space. If you could maybe talk to anyone that talks about space, whether it is astrology or astronomy or I don't even know the proper name, but the scientists that study the physics of the universe, quantum physics, and these kinds of things. I'm really interested in that. And I guess for one other person I would like to see is, I think what
One
would be
person you
great.
know.
Oh, a person that I know.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, a person that I know. Well, my goodness, I know so many people. I could give you a list of 10 people. um,
Your wish.
Yeah. Well, I think that uh, one of the owners of a non-for-profit that we do here called iGrow, which is a non-for-profit community that was built on the south side of Chicago. They bought a couple of houses on the block. They turned them into peace houses where they teach meditation, they teach yoga, they have a community farm. And this is one of the neighborhoods in our city that has the most violence and shootings in it. And I think somebody from that organization would be lovely, lovely to see here. And I know a couple of musicians that I think would be great here too. I will let you know some more though. Privately, I'll email you some when I get a moment to think about it. I apologize. I'm sure that was in your questions, and I wasn't prepared for it. But yes, I have many.
No
I will send you
problem.
some. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'll DM you on WhatsApp and we can chat about this there. But
Perfect.
sir,
Yeah.
lastly, I hope you enjoyed the show. I certainly did. Viewers, if you're still watching, thank you for watching till the end. Um, I'll Sir's website is in the description below. Check it out, and if you want to contact him or learn from him, he's like this is his why, and he wants to help a lot of people. So please check that out as well, and it will be great if you can support him in any way. And by the way, sir, lastly, please advise what unique thing you have liked about other talks and any suggestions which should be incorporated into my channel to improve the experience of our viewers.
Well, I think you're doing a great job. I don't think I have any suggestions for you. What I do love about this show is that you are so well spoken and you have such a genuine interest in things that are far beyond your age. And I think that's amazing, and I think you have great leadership qualities, and I wish you success, and I hope that you continue, and I would be honored to come back whenever you would like.
Yes, sir. The honor was mine, and I learned a lot from you. Thank you for those great words. And yeah, my viewers, if you have any questions for Mr. Siri Adi, just leave them down in the comments below. I'm sure like he'll be pleased to answer them maybe in the next interview we do. But thanks, sir.
Thanks. Thanks. Have a great day.